Okay, time for a midweek update on how things have been going with the Titan build. So, a lot of painting that's been done, and the last bit of assembling going on. Main piece here is the back carapace. It's been done up in the red and silver. You can see that the door, the little hatchway there, has been highlighted. The railings have been put on, and just the red base coat and the orange highlighting there. Decided to keep this pretty clean. I haven't used any of the inks or washes on it. I figure the top part would be sort of less grimy. Once the engines go in, I'll get a good look at what is going to go where and what sort of weathering effects need to go on. But to that end, we have the side pieces pretty much done now with the arms attached. So we have the engine blocks, and on the side mountings here, on this one, we have the moving heavy stubber. It's just got a little bit of movement there on the hinge that's been glued. And on the other section, we have the battle cannon, and we have the rotating ion shield. This is looking a bit plain at the moment. They'll probably put a decal or some free painting on there, but for the moment it's just got the red base coat. And again, the engine block that's on there. Coming over to this part, the head. Get that in there nice and close. Head assembly is just on a little rotating joint there, which is hooked under the cowling here. And I'm just going to take this off, and you can see that we've got the inner workings of the face there. The eyes have been painted in. Tried to get them nice and bright, so they've got a dark green blending into the bright white to give it like a lamp effect. I was hoping that they might be strong enough to sort of show through when the battle mask is on, but you can't really see that there. It just again makes me think a little bit about what the effect would be if you could actually get some LEDs in there. So when the final assembly is done, I might just keep some parts separate, just so that I might be able to give that a try. So those are the core pieces there. The little banner has been done. Again, this flat surface mainly for decals or free work. See what I'm going to do with that later. The only major areas of painting I have left are the shoulder pads. They're going to be the black and white with silver trim. And I've just done a little bit of work on the chest plate. And that chest plate will essentially hook under here and just covers up those bits of cabling. So it's got the base coats on, just needs to be highlighted with the brighter colours. So yeah, that's kept me pretty busy doing that. And today, finally, some magnets arrived. For most of my builds, I've been using 3mm by 2mm magnets, and they're useful for just magnetizing the regular size figures, you know, to swap out weapons and things like that. I wanted to go with something a bit stronger for the torso. So, if you recall, what I had done for the legs is had this little rotating piece here, and I put in a small magnet just in there. Just fills in that little nub that stands up there. So I had one that was glued in there, and what I've decided to do is I've glued in another small one, behind that. So these are two magnets locked in together for a little bit of extra pull. What I'm also going to do is I have some 12mm magnets. These are two 12mm magnets that are just stuck together via magnetism, ironically, and they're pretty solid, pressing against each other. Oops. Hear that fairly solid thwack there. I'll explain that in a minute. So these two magnets here, I'm going to put in the base of here, and I'm going to glue that. So essentially what you're going to have is you're going to have two 12mm magnets and two 3mm magnets, and these are all going to be working in conjunction. And just for this this little demo, just so that I know that I've got a solid enough base here, I'm just going to tack these in. I'm just going to put this base on here for the moment. This is how it's going to fit. It'll be fitting flush, so it's not going to be sticking up like this, but this just gives us a little bit of room. Alright, so what we have on here, this is why I've kept the interior piece open, is I've got another magnet, and I've glued this one down. This is another 12mm, so that's sitting on top of this plate, and that is going to sit directly on top of this magnet here. So that will slide like that, and that will have the range of motion to turn and back and forth a little bit. Just give it a little bit of a rock. Now, what I want to do also is just to add that little bit of extra strength, seeing as I've got a whole bunch of extra magnets. I'm going to take two more, and like I've done with the bottom one, I'm going to slap those on there, and that combined weight, the magnetic pull of all those extra magnets, even though they're not necessarily in direct contact with each other, it's all going to add up, and it's going to make for a very solid connection there that I can still just lift off, just like that. So where we're at the moment, if we take these pieces here and just do a dry fit, see that the engine assembly just slides up through the top pieces there, slots down on there, and so you get a look at the tighten it in one piece. Now it's a little lopsided at the moment. I still need to get it all balanced up and get the shoulder pads on and things like that, but it's got a full range of waist movement. The head moves backwards and forwards, can lean forward and backwards just on those magnets, and again that's pretty solid. The only sort of floppy area at the moment is the flex there on the arm assembly, and what I might do is just take this off. What I might do is get some you can either use some glue or some future floor polish, just daub it into the area there, and it will create a bit of friction, just tighten things up a little bit, and it might just help things to stay a little more solid rather than being all floppy. It may or may not work, I'm not sure yet. If it doesn't really work out too well, then I might just glue the arms solidly, just so that they're in a decent pose for when the model's together. Because with the waist movement, you're going to be able to be expressive with it. You're going to be able to move to aim the weapons and keep them out of the way if you're moving the base and things like that. Speaking of the base, I haven't put together any sort of real design plans yet. I suspect I'll probably end up using some bits in my bits box to make a small diorama, but it will fit on the base like so. And I'll probably have this removable so that if the base clutters up the table too much, you can just take it off, and it looks just more like a separate walking piece. So there we go. It's nearing the final stages now. Once it's all together, I'll have a bit of a debrief and just share my thoughts on it. But so far, I think that plan for the magnets should work out pretty well. So pull this guy apart and get ready for the final gluing there. So there we go. More to come.